Good afternoon, 547. I apologize that this post is a little bit late, but I wanted to get all the grading done before I did it. And so week 2, week 3 discussion posts, week 3 presentations are all graded. Grades are up to date. And the presentations were great. You guys did a really good job, each group, of building a seamless and consistent presentation on a lot of varied topics. It was really good. So let's jump in. If you focus on what you left behind, you will never be able to see what lies ahead. And that's from the movie Ratatouille. I love that quote, not because, the thought of you guys coming into this program having to leave behind sleep and time with friends and time with family and other commitments and pressing on towards that goal, but leaving behind all the craziness of 2020, in the hope of there's better things lying ahead. All the stuff that we're learning right now in this situation is only going to make us better educators. Not to say it's not hard and painful, but I truly believe that. When this week's over, we'll be halfway done with the course. Time is flying by so fast. I think it has to do with all the things that we're all doing and burning very quickly and very hard and very bright. But we can continue to do that as educators. But I do pray that you get some balance in your life and a little bit of time to just breathe, because that's important. This week, for week 4, we look at hemispheric preferences, memory, and retention in relation to learning, and then also integrating elements of brain-compatible teaching into a unit of study. And that is kind of foreshadowing into your final project. There's 1 assignment and 2 discussion board questions, so plan accordingly, but let's jump right in and kind of go through what is going on here. You can see everything in the bullet point format in the announcement. I'm going to go through it tab by tab. You can see I have a lot of tabs open. And then just so you know, the looking ahead, next week you have 1 chapter, 1 article, 3 discussion board prompts, but no big assignment next week. Really, it's start working on week 6 and week 8 assignments. But once again, if your brain likes bullet points, you can go back through this announcement right here and you'll get everything you need for the week. If you like it more of a narrative type format, once again, you can go through the weekly layout under the week 4 tab. So first, 4-page article from EDUTopia. If you're not subscribe to EDUTopia. There's a lot of, you can see that a lot of articles come through EDUTopia for Concordia. It's really good. They kind of have, they're not an echo chamber, they have varying viewpoints, so it's a really good place to get news for education and just kind of pedagogy and all that kind of good information. So it's about 4 pages, it's not too long. And then the second article is a web page that is not long at all. It shouldn't take you but 10 minutes to kind of go through that. And I do like these tips to improve child's memory. Some of these things I try to do myself because I feel like as more and more tasks come, I definitely need more help remembering everything. There's also 2 videos. They're both fairly short. This one is about 9 minutes long, and it's just fascinating how working memory works. So it's a really good video. You can see it's got about 2.5 million views, and so it's a TED Talk, and so they're pretty consistent with quality. And then another 2-minute video, or minute 50, from EDUTopia on boosting students' memory. So that's kind of where all the content's around memory this week. So your 2 discussion posts, the first one is you're going to take the sensory test, preference test right here. There's practitioner corner. This is in the book. Write a brief summary and reflection regarding the results. Include the following: your test results. Were you surprised, or was it spot on? And then reflect on how it helps or favors your teaching, and then how it may hinder or help students in your classroom. This is actually a really fun question to see the varied results, and the back and forth is important. So make sure you get your first one posted by Thursday, and then respond to at least 2 of your peers by Sunday as usual. And then the second one, explain the roles and relationships between the word sense and the word meaning, because they are a little bit different. Give an example of a learning objective at your grade level. Explain how you make sense of it to your students while also making it meaningful to them. And then once again, the practitioner's corner in the book has some information for you. Then we get into the assignment. So this is the information processing model assignment, and it's really laid out very linear on this document. You're going to create a unique analogy for the information processing model, and this is an analogy that is true to you. It is how your brain would process this, and so make sure that it's meaningful for you, and then include a graphic or an image or a picture of your model for all 4 features. So sensory, immediate memory, working memory, and long-term memory. And then in addition, you're going to write about all that information to include the following: the roles of threat and emotion, effects of past learning, the capacity of time, the role of sense and meaning, the role of cognitive beliefs, and as always, everything's in APA. So from this one document, you can get to the rubric and the models. And it does, say to write it in Word. As always, you can write it in Google Doc, download it as a PDF, and upload it. We do need the tangible artifact uploaded. So here is your rubric. Once again, very, very linear. You need images for these 4 areas, and each part of your writing is essentially worth 3 points, except for the APA is worth 4. So that is the rubric, real basic. Here's a couple examples, and there's links on the assignment sheet for this, and there's links in the announcement. But you can see this one is a little more narrative, and they have pictures right in line. And then it talks about, there's each section, the role. You can see how they bold the sections. If that helps you when you outline your paper, go ahead and do that. The role of threat, effects of past learning. And then here's a second sample. It's a little bit different, where they use these pictures in order like this to kind of explain their analogy. And then they go through and they write, once again, putting headers for each of the sections just to kind of, so they stand out. And also, I would encourage you when you write this, put those in first, and that way you kind of have the outline of the paper of what you need. A little tip: if those images don't format like you like in Word, or I'm sorry, in Google Docs, you can go into Insert, and you can actually insert a drawing from New, and it's going to open up a drawing tab here in a second. And this is going to allow you to manipulate images a little bit better. So you can insert an image from your drive, or you can search the internet. You can add text boxes, you can add shapes or arrows, lines. And so it's just a little bit easier to format. And then when you insert it, it's everything you put in that will pop in. It's just a little easier to format, as Google Docs doesn't handle images great. So, and then looking forward, as I mentioned, if I scroll back down, for looking ahead, really you have 2 more projects or assignments after this week. So week 2, you have your processing model analogy, but then you don't have really an assignment, or sorry, week 4, assignment 2. And week 6 and 8, you have bigger projects. They're worth 50 and 60 points. So those are really big projects. You should be starting to build those now and work on those now. As always, you can click right there and you can get the rubrics. If you need any help or any information for anything I went over, or for the upcoming weeks, please reach out to me. And I hope you all have a great and safe week.